Africa's gift to its tribe. Homegrown Radio. Ekaya. My home.
Homegrown Unplugged keeps on plugging you with nothing but the best and local talent, the freshest creatives right here on the Unplugged stage. So up next we have a poet, an entrepreneur, and an author. Please welcome to the stage Miss Sassy Pants, otherwise known as Sasta Kupan.
Hey everyone. I just want to thank the team and everybody present for the wonderful energy. We were so zen. I might take you on a roller coaster ride after this. But it's been such a blessing to listen to your stories and to find people that are so unafraid of telling them. So thank you for sharing this space with me and I with you. If you don't mind, I'm going to read. I'm 8 years old. Sissy and I fell asleep to the loud bumping again. With no supervision, broken Mickey Mouse bin, and blood on the floor again. I think they call this house music. I'm 12 years old. And Mom is mad again. Dad kept us out past 9 p.m. and even though we have no responsibilities, coming home with smiles on our faces is a luxury Sissy and I cannot afford. So Mom makes sure my face is well acquainted with the floor. I'm 14. Well, damn, here I am again. Mom's at the wheel again. She picked us up at school's end. I swear she said she'd be right back. 2 hours have gone by. It's hot in this ventless contraption. Sissy and I are sweating. We can't help but cry, but Mom, we can't let Mom see us cry. No, quick, here she comes. 6 hours go by. 2 girls, 1 car, too many bars later. The sun ran out of room in the sky. The darkness only grows thicker. The only crutch I have on my sanity is in the silent prayers in the arms of my sister. 12 hours pass. With a sigh of relief, we're finally going home. But Mom is at the wheel again, and like good family does, Uncle Jack and Uncle Zamalek make sure she isn't alone. Foot to the metal, hands waving in complete surrender. Borrowed breaths in that borrowed car gave it wings. In reckless abandon we flew down an empty, terrifying city street. And at the end of it, for the only time in my entire existence, I screamed, "Thank God for the police." We wait, we breathe. We get down on our knees. Mama never raised me that way. Mama never raised me. Mama never told me what love should look like. Sometimes I wish she had less shame in talking about her pain, how often she'd throw wet prayers heavenwards, only to watch them lose momentum halfway and fall back, blue-ticked and void of life. How that just once getting down on your knees, whether it be for repentance or other things, would make you a permanent fixture with the floor. I wish that she was brave. Brave enough to confess that love would make my heart bleed and sometimes my body. I wish she stressed that what's mine is mine and that blood should not be bartered for a good life or for a sense of belonging. His daddy never told him what a man should be like. He stressed that calloused hands kept homes intact. But not long enough for him to know being present, thinking before he speaks, and stretching his arms out to reach love before it ever asked for it was in fact a part of being a man. Mama taught me how to keep a house clean and every man pleased, the right combinations of drugs and drink to keep my body lean. Unmarked skin makes you beautiful, so do small waists and zero inhibitions. Keep his hands teased, down on both knees. Don't expect to please. When I was 5, Grandma called me a budding beauty. These days, I bloom for boys who parade as men. teeth shears for deflowering, only picking pretty things if she's instantly gratifying. Coming of age meant I'd bleed and bleed. I'd drown in the weight of misdirection and insecurity. I sacrificed for the men they said I'd need. But culture brought me up for air and screamed into my hollowing self-image that I wasn't enough, that the one who would save was a lingering shadow of fists, and I would do well to let it loom, because what made me any different, and what would the neighbors think? They said that I would stay, silently, voluntarily, and that every woman in my bloodline chose and choked on the same decision. What? So when his hands aren't firmly placed around my wrists, they'll be shackled in gifts and gold, and promises that frequently cease to exist, and maybe by the gods of domestic abuse that be, the tiny hand of someone who looks a lot like me. Where my ears aren't pressed, tired of the screaming, I'd hear how angst and abandonment taught him how to raise those fists along with his anger. For he was a fatherless boy, with no way to measure the sweat of his mother, for women cry and build and sacrifice, but history wipes that slate clean. It wasn't entirely him, but he helped to bury her sacrifice in an unmarked grave, only so men could be great again. He buries my face in the gravel like all my mothers before me. Side note, I hope you're proud. To society, the joining of man and girl is holy. But today, I breathe only through the holes of possibility, the hope that tomorrow I still have a shell of a life. Even if it's drenched in the stench of his manhood and I evaporate into a mass movement of hashtags and forgotten women, only to rain down in the cries of my children's children. But he, no matter how loud we plead, still remains the revered and silent and worshipped poster child of boyhood and societal norms. We wait, we breathe, we get down on our knees. My mama. Hey, little princess, why'd you look so glum? Is it because happy endings are designed to keep us dumb? To keep us hoping for perfect men who save us from ourselves, to ride off into sunsets and crave what can't be felt, like freedom in our songs. Because all we sing of is love, or the absence of. Isn't it quite sobering to hear that life is tough? Disney makes us hold our breath and squeeze neatly into pages, where men wrap their arms tightly around our destiny and we pose for candid pictures. He'll ride off with you into the distance and lead you to motherhood and wifely duties by the hand. He'll make you happy for a while, but you'll realize wild things cannot be bound to this fairyland. So take his horse, take the kids, kick dust up to Freedom's Gate. There is a happily ever after. It's never too late. I know it's great to believe in love, and hope should surely be the last to die, but beautiful princess, wake yourself up and flee, because it's your destiny to fly. Thank you.
Sasta.
Siobhan.
Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Girl, what did you just do? I feel like you changed my life in wow.
I just yanked you all out of the Zen place you put us in. Lady, I'm sorry.
No, it was
sorry.
It was a good yanking. Okay. That was amazing. I have to know, how long did this take?
For what exactly?
To write this entire piece.
So
it sounds like there's multiple stories in there.
Yeah, so the first one I wrote with 2 bottles of wine and maybe half a bottle of whiskey.
As you should.
Because healing is sometimes messy. The middle piece is actually an adaptation of a poem I wrote with my partner. He's the only poet I've ever dated. Shout out, bae. And then, and we wrote something. We were supposed to write a love poem together, and it ended up being a rape poem. And we just readapted it. I readapted it rather to make it like a singular narrative. So that was all yesterday because I was anxious and I couldn't put pen to paper. And then the last part is actually a poem I wrote about 2 years ago, and I think they all just had a similar theme about like owning your story, whether it's messy or not. So, yeah.